1945. The end of the war. Japan is now having to recover, and now they face the biggest threat of all, Godzilla. Wait, what? Hello, welcome to a new film review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Godzilla Minus One. What is Minus One? I don't know what that means. Anyways, this was a film that when I was getting into it, I thought I was seeing something like, what was that Godzilla thing? Clone number 2? I thought it was like a monarchy or something. I don't remember the title. I kind of forget. Anyways, this is actually a story set right after the end of World War II, as Japan has to deal with a specific threat in the ocean and a lot of other military tactics to deal with it. Wait, this is post World War II, and you said they have to use military tactics? Wait, clone number 2, where are you going? Oh boy. Anyways, what did I think of this film? This new Godzilla verse set right after the end of World War II in Japan trying to recover from World War II. Well, that's why you're here. I'm gonna let you guys know what I thought about it. Let's go. The film actually starts in the last few days of World War II, as Japan is already losing on all fronts as the United States close in. We follow a young man who is a kamikaze pilot, but in reality, he really doesn't want to die and is really concerned to kill himself as a kamikaze. One night, an island that he landed on for repairs on his plane is attacked by Godzilla. However, he was so scared that he couldn't even shoot at Godzilla, which cost the lives of several of his allies, except for one, who blamed him for the fact that he didn't shoot Godzilla. After the end of the war, he goes back home and his place is destroyed. He lost his family. Even a woman he knows has lost everything, including her family. He runs into a young girl who is carrying a baby that's not hers, but the baby lost her family due to the bombings. In the end, she ends up staying with him, and within a few years, you see his life try to shape back to how things were, but it still feels like they're living in a post-apocalyptic world right after the bombings. However, he gets a new job to go and start clearing out mines in the ocean, and that's when Godzilla returns. At this point, the war is not over for him. Not yet, at least. Thus, this is where the story pretty much begins. I don't want to go into too much detail because then it's just going to spoil everything else. But the movie is more focused on just humans struggling after a war. And this was right after World War II, which gives a unique and interesting viewpoint of Japan right after the fact. While I studied a lot of World War II history and I know most details of it, it was nice to see their perspective right after the fact. After we bombed them and that they needed to recover. Anyways, I'm getting on a historical rant here. I know clone number 2 would have loved to hear me talk about, but he decided to go to, I'm assuming, that world. I don't think it's gonna last long. Anyways, now the film quality, when I was watching it, see, I've only seen one series, a Japanese film series, and that was Death Note. And I thought the quality in that was actually pretty good, but most of the time I rarely see a lot of Japanese films. Most of the time, it's Korean films that have a high budget. I feel like Japan's films are either sort of low budget at points. I feel like they're more focused on their anime products, which are more detailed. However, when I was watching this movie, I felt like this was such a cool cinematic film from Japan. It's like, yeah, this is what I like to see. And the fact that you get to see this character, this young man, struggle while the girl that is staying with him is trying to comfort him. He still has PTSD from the war, and that carried on from pretty much every side, both both the Allies and the Axis powers. But the fact you see in the losing side is, well, it's an interesting perspective that people are suffering right after the war. But Godzilla is the big take in this film, and he is pretty menacing. Now, I'm not going to say I wouldn't say he's, well, okay, he's bad, but I wouldn't say bad, more like just an animal that just will fight for his turf, like how animals do, but he's killing people with his radiation blast. But the quality is really good in this film. Heck, even Godzilla looks really good and menacing. The acting is also real good, but you have to remember, since this is Japan, Japan's acting is a bit different compared to our acting or even Koreans acting. Well, I don't know, Koreans may be similar to that when they, act or overreact to things. But then again, the film is still great for what it is with their acting, and the acting is really good. You will feel attached to these characters and the suffering that they're going through. Now, I felt like there was maybe one or few cons, but not enough to actually ruin this film. This film was actually really decent for a Godzilla movie. And the soundtrack is also very impactful too. I really liked how they were inserting those really dramatic, impactful music during specific scenes. Even when the character's flying a plane, I did like that part a lot. I did find it interesting that they had to go out and clear out mines after the war, which I found interesting because I didn't really know that much about their perspective of post-World War II, what they had to end up doing to clear out mines in the ocean from both our side and their side, which was interesting to see that perspective. The action scenes are actually pretty good too, even when Godzilla's going around destroying a city in Japan. And what I liked is that it doesn't overstay its welcome too much. It still focuses on the human side, what they're planning to do to deal with Godzilla. Everything felt balanced in this film, from both the life of this man and the girl and even the kid that they've adopted, to then seeing Godzilla come by and just cause the action scenes to happen. It was good. And just to see that Japan, that once used to be part of the Axis powers, ends up becoming heroes to save their country from annihilation from a beast. And this is leading right up to the Cold War, so pretty much the United States couldn't even jump in to help because they were concerned about causing a conflict with the Soviets at this point in time of the Cold War. Well, Godzilla Minus Zero, to be honest, it was a very decent film to watch on the big screen, and some people did applaud when I watched it. The acting was really good, the characters you got attached to, and of course, Godzilla himself. And I like World War II history and post-World War II, and the fact that they were setting it right after World War II was also cool. I had a feeling that maybe it's following up to the Godzillas in the 1950s Godzilla, maybe? I'm not sure. But I like that they set it at this time, especially to see when Japan had to recover from post-World War II. That was interesting, and just the human issue of PTSD, which causes a lot of problems for a lot of soldiers coming back home from war, and I really like to see that struggle for humans. This sort of thing, Japan has kind of inspired me to write better stories. They just told a story set in Japan. And I gotta say, this film annihilated the Marvels movie, which is like, man, like that goes to show that we have fallen flat. We used to be top of entertainment, but now the direction right now is not great. And we need to snap out of that. But Japan can still hold firm with their storytelling and creativity. And this is one of those films that does that. Pretty much, my rating would be a very good storytelling from Japan. I don't think you would be disappointed. I think you will really like the story here, especially when it comes to the character dramas and their issues and good character stories. This is what used to be good in the American side of entertainment or just the Western side, but now it's just Well, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like what you saw here, subscribe. Follow me on other social media platforms. I do have Rumble, I do have Facebook, but Rumble is now becoming a thing that I'm going to be posting up more of my shows and films up there for people or shorts. Yeah, you can follow me there as well. Anyways, peace, and I hope flow number... Hold on. Yes? Arturo, I think I made a mistake. Please, can you open up the portal?
because Godzilla is attacking the city and I can't get out.
What happened to the device? I thought you had a device to teleport you back.
Yeah, well, the bad thing about it is there was so much chaos on the streets that I dropped the device and, please, open the portal, he's coming!